Ah yes, Disney Docket, one of the most beloved people in the Cars community. This is a man I'm sure 80+% of my regular viewers watch. You've all become so familiar with this person already. I cannot think of a single die-hard Cars fan who's never heard of him. This is a video I've planned on creating since the beginning, and a while ago, I promised you guys and Docket himself that I'd make this. So here we are. And just to be clear, I'll often refer to Disney Docket in this as DD because it's shorter and cause why not? So buckle up everybody, it's Disney Docket time! Disney Docket is a YouTuber from the Illinois area who centers his channel around the Cars franchise, and occasionally other Disney properties. He's a man well known for many things, but most prominently, his Diecast reviews. These are essentially the bread and butter of his channel, even if they all sort of blend together, which is because they all tend to share a similar structure. Here's how most of his reviews play out. The video starts off with a cheerful introduction and an explanation of the subject, going into the history of the release, inspecting the card back, etc. Once unopened, DD goes into where the character appeared in the movie, giving some additional trivia, and finally looking over the diecast itself, pointing out little details, discovering inaccuracies, and so forth. This is then wrapped up with him comparing it to similar cars, giving his final thoughts, and then the typical outro. With several exceptions, most reviews play out like that. Little segments might change here and there, but the overall structure stays the same. And you know what? That's alright. It doesn't bother me at all, because the style gets the job done, and is still very entertaining. It's a winning strategy that doesn't need to be altered every passing video. And even then, Docket tends to spice things up, usually with different series. These include stuff like the custom reviews, Piston Cup teams, Prototype Prestige, and of course, Forlorn Favorites, which brings back forgotten releases and gives them some attention. There's the holiday tradition of 12 Days of Christmas, the Giga Hauls, the Docket Cast, Turbo Tuesday Talk Show, and so on. His awesome Cars hunts have totally inspired me, as well as many others, but my absolute favorite videos from Disney Docket are none other than the case unboxings. It's always so thrilling to open up an untouched box of diecasts, waiting to sift through the contents inside. I love watching him pull out each car and discussing how bad or good the inclusion might be, his compliments about a welcomed re-release, or his complaints on Mattel's bad decision-making are all so satisfying. Oh, and minor note, DD receives all his cases from Get Me Collectibles. He says this every time, so please, stop asking where he gets them from, okay? Okay, good. And how can I forget the crown jewel, his collection showcases? I'm still in awe just looking at it all, and I really do think DD owns the world's largest diecast collection. Being someone who's collected since the very beginning, DD knows the ins and outs of the diecast line, from its highest and lowest points. He's seen it all, so I can always count on him to be reasonable and agreeable on something. I mean, anyone can tell that Tenik and Axlers in one store is bad, but my point still stands. Akin to Best in Slot, DD will sometimes discuss things loosely connected to the video, or even just the personal goings-on that he wants to address, such as returning to college or working at the country club, which reminds me of just how adamant he is on getting content out. He truly does care about his audience, and he'll do whatever it takes to entertain us, like pre-recording tons of videos before going on hiatus, or staying up late after draining hours of work just to film a review. Not even Kappa can stop this guy. I'm always pumped to hear him go over the newest diecast reveals, or on very rare occasion, break down the newest Cars media that just released, like the Cars 3 trailers, or the Pixar popcorn shorts. And that scarcity just makes the upcoming Cars on the road all the more exciting. I love his displays, his voice is pleasant to listen to.
Yeah, guys, welcome back to a case unboxing. I hope you're excited. I am absolutely thrilled. I don't know if I should be though, because if I was told a couple years ago that you would be getting your first new single in May of the year, and there would only be a character variant, there wouldn't be a new character. I don't think I'd be very excited. But right now in this moment, I am excited. So we're gonna get into it.
And he's always informed me about releases, history, errors, and so much more. He's respectful, observant, he loves reading about what we think, plus, he'll sometimes add an extra dash of humor to his videos.
Bamboozled. I was disappointed. What's that line? It's my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined, something like that.
For so unbelievably long, people had been begging for a face reveal, and these requests just never stopped. That is until March 7th of last year, where he officially revealed what was behind the camera. Disney Docket suddenly became more than just a voice and a pair of hands. And I gotta say, I'm very glad it didn't disappoint, but how could it really? It's incredible seeing just how much this channel has improved, all the way from its simple start to the professionalism of today. A video run of nearly a decade. Something that tends to seep from my memory is the fact that Dee was originally named RC Cars 5. Yeah, personally, I do believe that it was a wise decision to rebrand, as Disney Docket sounds a hell of a lot more appealing and memorable. Okay, now like usual, I think it's about time I share my own history with Dee. As many of you would know by now, I've been collecting Cars diecasts nearly my entire life. This little hobby of mine is something I've always cared about, and I love sharing it with others. So discovering large YouTube channels that devoted so much of their time to this topic was exciting. The earliest I can remember watching Dee specifically was back in 2017 during the Cars 3 line. But even then, I only checked them out occasionally. 2018 was a time when I struggled to find new cars, and as a result, I was primarily focused on other things. But once I started receiving stuff almost weekly in 2019, I immediately got hooked into Disney Docket, and I continued to watch his stuff regularly. He would end up partially introducing me to other champions of this fandom too, like Astro Smokey, Trunk Fresh Green 34, Jim Scavenger, etc. He's also helped fuel my determination to continue collecting, even through the darkest periods, and I cannot thank him enough for that. I honestly don't understand why Mattel hasn't hired him yet to work in the cars department. He can proof check everything, pitch ideas for new cars, and so much more. He does study economics after all, if I'm correct. He's pretty much the Jang Bricks of cars. While subscriber count ultimately does not matter, can we please get this man to 100k soon? Disney Docket, to me anyway, is the centerpiece of the Cars community. His passion for these movies and that stride to keep on collecting shows through every single video. He deserves every drop of praise and support he receives. While others might be larger than him, Dee has always been the most important to me. The connection that him, myself, and many more share means the world to me. And when so many people on YouTube have ragged on this franchise again and again, Disney Docket is somebody who unites us together, and that's something worth celebrating. His channel is the embodiment of why I love being a Cars fan, and he'll forever have my deepest respect for that. Would I end up putting him in my top 10 favorite YouTubers of all time though? I'd say it's very likely. While not my number one favorite YouTuber, Disney Docket holds the title of my favorite YouTuber based around my favorite franchise, and that's a title to be proud of. Or does Tug actually hold that title because of the big Cars analysis? Screw it. So there you have my thoughts on Disney Docket. I really hope you enjoyed hearing them, as Dee's somebody I've wanted to cover for eons now. Really glad to have finally talked about him. As always, I'll see you in the next one. And in the words of the man himself, bye now.